Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Clinton Howell Team's Weekly Market Update, where I get to inform you of what the Howell is going on. Let's get started. Let's talk about the demand side of the business. We'll dig into the RE/MAX Escarpment, RE/MAX Niagara appointment center data. You're going to hear some staggering information in this particular update, some very, very interesting and surprising data that we're seeing in the recent 30 days in the local real estate market. So stay tuned. In terms of our appointment center, for the past 30 days, we're seeing a rolling average of 7.7 appointments to get a property sold. This is extremely low. For the past week, 6.8 showings to get a property sold. This is extremely low, like I said. The tail of the first 2 weeks in December has to do with more deals coming together with slightly fewer appointments. It's very, very aggressive. Consumers are deeply sifting through listing inventories prior to appointments. So the way I'm thinking about this, I'm a guitarist, and one of my hobbies is buying guitars and collecting guitars. And when I'm looking through listings, I do that often for something to do, some fun. I'm flipping through, and I know what guitars are worth. There are different ones that I'm keeping an eye on anyway. When I see one that's a great deal, I might just jump on it. So that's kind of like how real estate is right now. You know, the buyers are looking and searching. They know exactly what they're looking for. They know what they want. So as a result, December efficiency isn't coming from a surge in sales. It's coming from better quality appointments. So buyers knowing what they want and jumping on. In terms of the Bank of Canada, what's been happening, I've got some data here from RBC Economics. Canada's inflation in November stays steady with mixed details. So headline inflation held at 2.2% in November in Canada. So this is important. This is what the monetary policy, the interest rates, and all that are getting set, to deal with inflation, right? So the Bank of Canada's preferred core measures of underlying inflation mostly eased, but those exclude food inflation that rose to the highest rate since the end of 2023. So food, we're seeing a huge spike in food bank usage. There's so much food insecurity right now. So despite Canadian importers not paying tariffs themselves, prices in Canada could still be impacted by U.S. exporters passing on their related cost increases along food manufacturing supply chains. So that could be explaining partially what's going on. Apparently prices for refined coffee are way up, frozen beef is way up. So there's all kinds of different things happening in the grocery store pricing right now. December 10th was the last Bank of Canada interest rate decision where they held the overnight rate at 2.25%, which was expected. The next decision date is January 28th, and I'm fully expecting that they'll just hold the rate there as well. So at 2.25%, the overnight rate, the rate that the banks can borrow from the government, this rate is really at the bottom of the neutral zone. So it's just kind of hanging out in a neutral place right now. Inflation seems fairly steady. So we're going to see lots of interesting spending from the government stimulus in terms of that new budget. So hopefully that helps the economy and helps to bustle the environment. Okay, what's happening in the Burlington market? So this is pretty wild stuff here. We got 501 active listings. So that's down a little bit from last week. So that's not surprising. 103 sales in the past 30 days. So that's down a little bit. We've got about 4.8 months worth of supply in the Burlington area. What's staggering, though, is the absorption rate is at 65% based on the last 30 days. So we're actually back in seller's market territory right now in Burlington. So as I've been saying before, December is an excellent time to list your property. There's less listings coming out. The buyers that haven't succeeded yet in finding what they want are looking. They're still intently looking. So sales have been fairly brisk in December, and the absorption rate, the more properties have been getting sold compared to listings coming out, especially in the detached homes category. 85% absorption. That's crazy, very high. Median days on market continues to be 29. The average days around 43. And if we look at year over year, the pricing based on the composite, so overall in Burlington, the prices are down about 9.8% compared to the last December. In the Hamilton area, we've got 1,941 active listings, down slightly from last week. 329 sales in the past 30 days, which is also down slightly. Just under 6 months worth of supply. And Hamilton, for the first time in many months, has come up to a balanced market condition. We've got 51.8% on the absorption. We're actually sitting in seller's market territory on detached homes at 59%. but Hamilton has come up to a balanced state. The median days on market right now is taking about 36 days, average 52. And year over year, and Hamilton, December to December, market's down about 8.2% on the composite side. Now, there's different segments. Condo apartments have done worse. Detached homes have done better. Luxury properties, when you start getting into that $2.5–3 million and up, they're kind of dancing to their own beat. In many examples, the luxury market has actually gone up year over year, and it has a lot to do with unique lots, custom homes, unique features and finishes. It's kind of a different market, and the buyers have different financing or not even needing financing requirements compared to the mainstream. So what's happening in Oakville? 274 active listings. That's down slightly. 64 sales in the past 30 days, which is similar to where it was. And we've got a very, very high absorption rate in December right now. Looks like a lot of Oakville buyers are Christmas shopping. We had 84% absorption. So that's a seller's market territory at this moment. 32 median days on market for Oakville, 43 is the average, and we're seeing year over year a decline in the composite pricing of about 7.3%. That's all I have for you today. If you have any questions, please reach out. Love to hear from my fans. Have a great day.